I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here today for 2015. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here today for our 2015 Hard Rocker football recruiting signing class announcement. Exciting day to be a Hard Rocker, and we're excited to have a great group of young scholar athletes join our program here. First of all, I'd like to give some thank yous out to the people that really do the work behind the scenes. I'd like to thank our coaching staff for the amount of endless time, hours that they've put into it, the grind that's on the road that starts really a year ago when we started this recruiting process. But probably more importantly, I'd like to thank their spouses and their children, because they're the ones that do the real sacrifice. They're the ones when we're on the road that they're making sure things are done at home, and they're missing their fathers as they're away and doing that. So we got a great team here, phenomenal wives, phenomenal, primarily daughters, I guess, for the most part, with a few sons in there. I can't say thanks enough for their sacrifice as their fathers and our coaches go out and find the best scholar athletes we can that fit the South Dakota School of Mines. I certainly like to thank our administration, President Heather Wilson, and her support of our football program, but more importantly, our scholar athletes in general throughout the university. I'd like to thank Joel Lucan, our athletic director, for all his support and his time here. And certainly the behind the scenes, Jen Ranum, our assistant athletic director of compliance, who probably does more work than anybody behind the scenes throughout the whole compliance process, and certainly in the last few days and months as we've gone through all the NCAA paperwork, and today as we get the national letter of intents and scholarship agreements in and sent into the proper places. I'd like to thank Anita Brenneman, our administrative assistant here. Anita's the one who really keeps this place running, makes sure we stay on target, and lets us know when we are close to budget, that's for sure. I'd like to thank our training staff, and Scott Barrett specifically, for all the different roles that they have in our program. I'd certainly like to thank our admissions staff, our Vice Provost, Dr. Gunn, his support of college athletics, our Director of Admissions, Molly Moore, and certainly her group of counselors that do a tremendous job, that take their time throughout the weekends to come here and put on a first-class visit and make sure as these young men come and take a peek at our campus, they're giving their best foot forward. And I really appreciate the sacrifice and the time that they use throughout the year as we finalize this recruiting process. Certainly like to thank the people who raised the scholarship money for our program. The Hard Rock Club, the board, all the donors that go into that, Nate Brown, our president, our foundation here, and all the groups with them, specifically Larry Simonson, and the time and energy and efforts he's put into some unique programs on that piece. And we certainly wouldn't be here, couldn't be here without that group. With that, I'd certainly like to make sure I say thanks to our large donors, and I know we have a large alumni base that gives money, but I'd certainly give special thanks to George and Nancy Dunn, Bob and Becky Meeson, and Bill Brodsky for their very, very generous support that they do to the scholarship here at the South Dakota School of Mines, which is a very unique setup in that. So I'd like to thank everybody that helps us without the recruiting process. The Adobo, where we handle our recruits, they do a great job of making sure that those guys are taken care of as they come in their visits with them and their family. And certainly Polly's Pizza does a great job for us throughout that time. All right, so with no further ado, I'd like to start announcing what will be our 2015 Hard Rockers football recruiting class. Well, we'll start out local, and we'll work this through by position. We're very, very excited to have Donnie Pilato from Rapid City Central on our campus. You know, we've got a great tradition of quarterback play here. Anytime that we can get a local guy on campus that we're excited about. Donnie's a tremendous student. He'll be a mechanical engineering major here at the School of Mines, and we couldn't be more excited to have a local guy down the road coming here slinging the football around. Our next quarterback that we signed this year is Bryce Dobbs. Bryce is a quarterback, left-handed quarterback from Queen Creek High School in Arizona. Bryce is also a mechanical engineering major. He's a big guy, played some high school linebacker as well, so he's got some versatility and certainly shows his toughness. Running back we signed this year is out of Georgia, so we went down south to find one high school running back that we're going to announce today. Devin Nixon is a very electric player. Excited to have Devin here on campus. He's a mechanical engineering major, and he's from Groves, Georgia. DBs, we signed a couple DBs and then have a mid-year transfer I'll talk about here in a little bit. Jake March is from the state of Washington, Emerald Ridge High School. He'll be majored in industrial engineering. And also the next DB that signed with us is Jonathan Williams. He's also a mechanical engineering major, and he's from Camarillo High School in Southern California. Our D-line group, and one of our really, really strong areas I think that we were able to recruit this year. A D-line group, Darren Weber is an electrical engineering major. Darren is at Golden West Junior College in Huntington Beach right now. Darren's originally from Indiana, but he's certainly going to provide some some older maturity leadership, big time player with a great motor. I'm excited to have Darren here. J.W. Windsor is a high school defensive tackle from Chandler, Arizona. He's going to major in applied biological sciences. J.W. is a great D-line, a high motor, high energy guy, and we're excited to see what J.W. can do in our program. His high school teammate, Sama Nakissa, and Sama is going to major. He's not sure what field of engineering he's going to major in at this point, but we got a slide of Sama there? Nope. Okay. On that, but Sama's going to major in engineering. And one of a handful of Polynesian players were able to get into the program this year. Excited to have Sama here. Our next D-line recruit is, and that was my fault, I went off there, Brad. Next D-line recruit is Andrew Montoya. Andrew is a local, about as local as you can get. He goes to St. Thomas More, D-line recruit here. His dad works in our electrical engineering department, so he's certainly familiar with the school. And like I said earlier when we were talking about Donnie, very, very excited to get a local recruit here and excited to see what Andrew can do in our program. And there's our guy Sama. Sorry about that, Sama. I got off on that piece, but there's a picture of Sama right there. He's a teammate of J.W. Windsor's, two big-time defensive linemen, won a state championship at a very high level down there in Arizona. Okay, as we work through our linebacker portion, I really, really feel good about the linebacker piece we have. And again, another Polynesian player for us that signed with us out of Federal Way, Washington. He's going to be in Interdisciplinary Sciences STS program, David Tiamalu. And David's a big guy, and he plays with a great motor, about 6'2", 260 as we roll through here, and we're excited about what David can bring to the program. Chris Kuntz, and Chris is currently at Briston Academy, which is a prep school on the East Coast. He went to Saguaro High School in Arizona, and Chris is a mining engineering major, thick downhill linebacker, great leadership ability, and we're excited to have Chris here on campus. Troy Kurtz. Troy's a civil engineering major out of Santa Ana Junior College, and I was at another school, actually recruited his brother a few years back. And Troy is a downhill player, plays with a great motor, great leader, and excited to have some older leadership coming in as we lost 4 linebackers off of last year's team, and Troy will certainly jump into that right away. Kay Canberra. Kay is from Campbell High School in Hawaii. One of his coaches I actually played college ball with. Kay is probably as excited as about anybody about coming to this university. Had a great trip out here this last weekend. Outside linebacker, almost a hybrid safety type, runs very, very well, and we're excited to have Kay here. And Kay on that piece is going to be a mechanical engineer, a civil engineering major for us. Zach Archer is from Basha High School. He's a mechanical engineering major at the linebacker position for us, so we're excited to have Zach on board. And that's a large group of linebackers we need to fill the void, and certainly very excited about that group. Offensive line. Now, first guy we got up with a cowboy hat there, he's a true cowboy out of New Mexico. Colin Wooden with the New Mexico Military Institute. Colin is going to be an industrial engineering major out here. He's a teammate of another one of our mid-year transfers I'll talk about here in a minute. We're very excited to get some older leadership from Colin and what he'll bring the toughness to our offensive line. DJ Coward, I guess it's Darren officially. We call him DJ, so Coach King calls him Big Red. But fired up to have DJ here at 6'3", 265 from Campo Verde High School in Arizona. Also a very, very good wrestler and is going to finish well in the state championship in wrestling. DJ is a civil engineering major for us. Jack Batho IV. Jack is from Millard West High School in Omaha, Nebraska, and Jack is going to be a mechanical engineering major. He's probably the tallest streak. He's about 6'7" as he came in, has great feet, great fit for us, really in that Brian Freed mold that Brian graduated here a few years ago. Also going to work out and throw shot for us in the track piece. Josh Sorensen, offensive lineman from McMinnville High School. He's a mechanical engineering major. His dad actually grew up in Rapid City, so they came back out this summer, had a chance to come back and visit, fell in love with the place, and we're certainly excited to add another piece to that offensive line board. And I really, really feel good about the young old lineman we have, and also with an older guy there in Colin. That's a good group that we're going to bring here in 2015. Wide receiver position, Kevin Mills. Kevin is from Southwestern Junior College in San Diego. He's a civil engineering major. Neat thing about Kevin, him and Rashad Ridley were Jay's junior college teammates at Southwestern last year, so there's some familiarity with him. Great kid, great person. He's going to be a big-time playmaker here in our system, and that's Kevin Mills from Southwestern JC. Got a couple of big receivers this year from the state of Colorado. The first one was Jacob Christ. Jacob is from Endicott, Colorado. He's a mechanical engineering major, but 6'5" is going to cause a lot of problems on the outside with his height and his athletic ability. Also a basketball player. Excited to have Jacob here in our program. Brent Rankin is also from the same high school as Jake Marsh that we talked about earlier, Emerald Ridge High School. That's the alma mater of Coach McFadden here, so that's probably why he snuck back in there. But he's a slot receiver for us, and Brent runs great routes, physically tough kid. He's going to be a mining engineering major here for us at the School of Mines. And then Nathan Courtney, he's the other big outside receiver we talked about from Colorado. Palmer High School, Nathan's a 6'5" kid, and all love that. He might be a little bit taller, but again, we wanted to get a little bigger on the outside with these young receivers, and really excited about bringing both Nathan and Jacob in with those outside matchups. And that's our receiving core that we have in this 2015 class. We had a couple specialists. Martin Rodriguez is a punter from Lane Junior College. He's an applied engineering major, and we had a needed punter. Really like what Martin brings to the table on that piece, and is a phenomenal student. The other specialist we brought in is Marshall Gleason. Marshall's from Santa Ana Junior College, and he's a kicker. Really does a lot of things well, but he's a tremendous kickoff guy. When you look at the field position of the football game, we're excited about what Marshall brings on that piece. And Marshall will be industrial engineering major. And then two guys that we signed mid-year who were already in our program. One is Dominic Martinez. He's from New Mexico Military Institute. Dominic's a mechanical engineering major, safety for us, and has done a great job in the weight room, running around in the winter conditions. Excited to have his leadership and his ability in the program. And the other one is Jacob Fitzgerald. Jacob's a linebacker for us from Glendale, Arizona. Jake's been here since the start of classes. Tremendous leader, very explosive in the weight room. Excited to see what he's going to bring to the football field for us. And he got a good lineage. His dad was a tight end for the Green Bay Packers in the late 80s. So that's our recruiting class of now. We will have a few more here, so let us still continue to trickle in on that piece. Certainly appreciate everybody coming out. We will have a social down at Buffalo Wild Wings at 4:30 today. But very, very excited about this 2015 class, and it's a great day to be a Hard Rocker.
Hey!
Good. All right. Thanks, Scott.